If they said that 5 months later I would be wearing a bulletproof vest with the word press on me in Lviv, where I came for a touristic trip with my wife last November, don't be funny. I would say. Now I'm laughing bitterly at my naivete. Located in western Ukraine on the border with Poland, this historic city wakes up in fear every day. Will the Russians launch missiles? Will warplanes bomb the World Heritage-listed city? Will Putin's tanks trample the cobblestones of Lviv? If we do not count 20 journalists on the streets where thousands of tourists were walking before the war, it is not possible to come across foreigners. Most stores are closed. Since the sale and consumption of liquor is prohibited, cherry liquor stores have closed their shutters. The statues of Neptune, Diana and Amphitria in the historical Rhinox Square, where the city hall is located, are wrapped in a tarp and placed in a wooden cage. The statue of Jesus in the Armenian cathedral was moved to the bunker. You ask why? In order not to be destroyed in the attack. Collaborative Camouflage Workshop. The library building in Rhinox Square is home to an unusually busy schedule these days. The library was converted into a military camouflage workshop by the public. On the ground floor, fabrics in the form of balls are cut by women and young people with scissors and turned into thin and long pieces. Then they are put in boxes and taken to the second floor. On this floor, it is carefully tied to the stretched nets and camouflaged. These camouflages are used in front of and around barriers at checkpoints on highways. Lviv residents of all ages and professions work collaboratively and voluntarily in the workshop. Women, young and old, predominate. Sociology professor Victor explains that his only day off is for camouflage production. Russia's attack on us is a terrible mistake. However, Russia and Ukraine should be a part of the West, he says. Restaurant employee Zigo says, I follow the news every day. I can't concentrate on work. I can't work, I can't sleep. Svetlana, on the other hand, writes letters to the soldiers. She hasn't responded yet. Asylum expeditions at Lviv station. Lviv train station does not bring tourists to the city this time. Tens of thousands of Ukrainians take the train from the station and flee to Poland, Hungary and Romania. The area around the station is the Parents' Day. Tents have been set up. Charities distribute soup and food. Refugees, Roma, street dwellers, drunkards and addicts lie on benches. There is a sharp frost. The fire in the barrels is not enough to heat. A pianist is playing the piano with his cold fingers at the door of the station. Nadya's Ukraine. We set off from Lviv to bid farewell to the refugees, to their uncertain future, and go to Romania. We passed through the military checkpoints, the barricades of the peasant militia. In Ternopil, I met Nadya in the square where the statue of King Danilo is located. Nadya grew up in occupied Kharkov, a Russian-dominated city. His native language is Russian. I ask if there is discrimination against Russians in Ukraine. She marvels. I, my children, and my family speak Russian. I can speak Russian in any city in Ukraine and that's fine, she says. Why don't you want to live with Russia? I add. She says. Why? It's not free to think in Russia. It's free to think and talk in Ukraine. I can go to any country in the world. For that. Can return to Syria. In Ukraine, a battle between democracy and autocracy is taking place. The Ukrainian people are fighting to decide their own future, to have an independent and sovereign state. It wants to be a member of the EU and to be positioned in the democratic world. Because they are afraid of the Russians, they adopt joining NATO as their constitutional goal. What they feared happened to them. Russia, on the other hand, justifies the occupation in Ukraine as follows: neo-Nazis, who have seized the state apparatus in Ukraine, are applying ethnic cleansing to the Russians. Ukraine is being turned into a NATO outpost, turning it into a nuclear base against Moscow. Already, retired soldiers from various European countries come to Ukraine to fight against the Russians. Belarusian dissidents, anti-Russian Chechens and Crimeans are among the volunteers. The claim is that more than 20,000 volunteers from 52 countries took up arms. This participation resembles the international brigade fighting alongside the PYD. Putin invites Kadyrov's Chechens and Assad's forces to the field. As seen in Syria, we can witness a Ukraine where states or global organizations are fighting a tutelage war through organizations. Indeed, many omens appeared. 8 missiles were fired by Russia at the military base in Lviv the day after we crossed into Romania. The bloody war between the two riparian countries will force Turkey to make a choice. The allegation that a Turkish mosque was shot down in Mariupol may be aimed at making Turkey a party. The promotion of UAVs and SHAs used by the Ukrainian army as a weapon aimed at Russia by Turkey may harm national interests and security. SHAs may turn and shoot us. Turkey must maintain its neutral stance. Syria should be a lesson to us.